All right, while we're waiting for everyone to go ahead and get here, I'm gonna go ahead and put your information. So you're gonna log in, to sign in or sign up or log in. You're gonna go to app.bookcreator.com. It's going to prompt you to sign in as either a student or teacher. You're going to want to make sure you sign in as a teacher. And it should take you to a library screen. You're going to hit join library and the code is up here. Yeah, you can sign in with your Google account. Google. I don't believe it's attached to our Clever right now.
So we set it up, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you're gonna create an account, and then make sure that you sign in. It's kind of tricky, but make sure you sign in as a teacher versus a student.
What is it called?
It is B as in boy, P as in Paul, V as in Victor, K as in king, Z as in zebra, W, C as in cat.
Power.
Maybe it is a Y. Yeah, join a library. ZWC. B is in boy, P is in Paul, Y is in yellow, K is in king. I did say V at first, it's Y. K is in king, Z is in zebra, W as in white, and C as in chocolate.
We sign in with Google?
Yes, sign in with Google. Make sure,
Yeah.
okay. Or you may have to, are you using? Maybe because you're using the browser, you're using Google Chrome. Oh, like how we run it? Oh, yes.
So it took me to this other screen where it had me set this up and now I can't go back and do what she was doing. I didn't put in that.
You're gonna join the library. So when you first log in, you're gonna have the top row is gonna be like your library, and then the bottom where it says share with me, you should have a symbol that looks like this that says join library, and that's where you're gonna type in the code.
Acá que con la muestra de tipos. ¿Qué he dicho?
Just click something. Your
Any? English language, I don't want English language for social studies. Social studies.
BP1.
the subject?
But you didn't ask me any of
It doesn't matter.
So
Oh, because you're creating a class library, you don't want to create a class library yet. It's okay, go ahead and do, just put, Rico's. Alright,
So what do we do, third and fourth, or what? Doesn't matter?
it doesn't matter.
Mine didn't ask me.
So on your screen, I'm gonna get out of this book for just a second. So if you're in Heather Glen's library, your library should look like this. Who are you looking for?
She is in her room.
So you should have all of these books in the Heather Glen library. I'm gonna be going through the one that says Book Creator. So this is the screen that you would see if you want to edit the book. I'm gonna go up here and hit play, which is gonna put it in like actual book mode.
Do I install this thing?
There shouldn't be anything to install.
What was the code? Did you have it again?
B as in boy, P as in Paul, Y, K, W, C as in cat.
No, that's what I like. It doesn't matter if it's cap or what?
No.
Oh, it does cap or what?
All right. So I decided to go ahead and do the presentation in Book Creator mode just so that you guys can see, because really the biggest thing with Book Creator is to play around with it and get ideas with it. So what can you do with Book Creator? I know in the upper grades we have the SER and CER for our writing responses, reading and writing responses. So you could create a class book where they collaborate together and each student writes their claim, evidence, and reasoning on a page. You could do a book about European exploration. You could do the book about each of the different explorers and tell about them. You can see here that I made it into a timeline so they could make a timeline of events of exploration. You can have the kids create a comic book based on any topic that you could choose. I mean, you could have them make a math comic book, a science comic book. And I'm gonna give you guys time to explore, as you can see. But before I let you explore, I'm gonna go into the Heather Glen Library that I set up for you guys. And so you'll see all of these books here. This is a welcome book for you to look at. It's got different lesson ideas. This has got some different teaching ideas where it says teach. These are your intro books that you can show the kids for Book Creator. There's one for kindergarten, first grade, first and second, and then third through fifth. For kindergarten, I'm gonna say at first, unless you just have some really tech savvy kids that really can operate an iPad, you may want to just start with creating books that you think would be beneficial for them based on what you're learning. So I went ahead and just created some sample books just to show you guys some ideas. And I tried to do one for each subject. So this one, I created a geometry vocabulary book. So I know 4th grade is coming up to their geometry unit, which is very heavy on vocabulary. So I just started with vocabulary. The great thing about Book Creator is it will read to them. So even your struggling readers, you can come up here and hit play, and then you can hit read to me. And
Right. Civic spot on a location. Segment. X2 endpoints. Figure. Okay.
So a thought on this, as I was thinking through this, would be to start and give them examples. I know one of the things that we always do in 4th grade when we hit this unit is one of the days is to have them find real life examples of these things. So there is a way to take pictures of things and insert them in here. So the kids could create their own geometry vocabulary book, and then think about how that could even help in reading. They could do that at their Read to Self station. They could review that vocabulary. So that was my math example. And sorry, I can't see my mouse very well in here. Then I did a reading example, figurative language book. So again, each page was a different example of figurative language. And this is kind of funny. So when you read a book like this, when it does read a book, you'll see that like these are GIFs. When it reads it, it actually tells you that there's a GIF there. So I'll show you.
Emily. Comparing two things using like or as. I love you son GIF. 4. Quote message GIF by positive programming.
So that was that GIF.
Comparing two things without using like or as.
So that's something to be careful
Utter
of.
family whatever GIF. Hyperbole. Extreme exaggeration. End lot killing me smalls GIF.
So that's
You've
something
reached
to
the
think
end of
about.
the book.
That's something to think about as you're embedding things in there. If you're creating it and you're wanting it to be able to read to the kids, you're probably not going to want to put a GIF in there because it is going to read what the GIF is. I did one for social studies. I know, although I was looking at the Texas weeklies and I didn't see this page anymore, but I know one of the pages in the Texas Weekly used to be about Christopher Columbus being a failure. And so I always had my kids write to a prompt, do you think Christopher Columbus was a failure, why or why not? So they could create a newspaper type book. Again, they can make it their own and give different examples. And then I did an example for science. So weathering, erosion, and deposition book. So it gives a definition and different examples. So the biggest thing about the Book Creator is thinking about ideas on how you could use it, but it's really about playing in there. I created all of these books this week, just going in there and doing it quickly. And our kids are so used to technology, especially the upper grades, are so used to technology and importing things and doing all of that, they will catch on really quick. So I'm gonna walk you guys through creating a book so that you guys can kind of play with it. So if you'll go up here to click New Book, you're gonna have this example. Now, when I was doing the training myself, it shows that when you click on these comic books, that it's supposed to create these templates here. It's not doing that, so I don't know if there's a glitch or if it's updated. So that's something I have to figure out. They also already have templates for you. So if you click on templates, you can see, so I used obviously the newspaper template when I was doing the Christopher Columbus. They have themes that you can use if you don't want to just start with a blank slate. But I'm just going to start a blank book, and I'm just going to make it a square book. You guys can choose whichever one you want. So it's going to start with your blank cover. Everything that you need to add, anything to add, you're going to click up here on this plus button. So you can see from here, you can add pictures, you can open your camera and take a picture. You can write on the book, you can add text, and you can even record yourself. So the kids could think about that weathering, erosion, and deposition. I know in 5th grade, you guys get out the stream tables, and so you could record the different parts as they're doing that stream table and embed that video in there, and the kids could actually record over or record in the book explaining what is happening in that process, or even type what is happening in that process and what part of what is going on. You have shapes here. So this is where you would use those comic book parts, any other shapes or colors. You have arrows, and then you've got more. 3D models, I haven't really found a whole lot for that, but I'm sure there's a lot of them. I just haven't tried it yet. Feedback stickers, animated emojis, graphic organizers. So this is where I got the CER. So they have all kinds of graphic organizers in here that you could put in there and have the students collaborate on or create their own. You also have the ability to add something from Google Drive. You can add your own Bitmoji. You can add the GIFs, which is how I put those in there earlier. If you are big on Canva and you have files in Canva, let's say you created something in Canva, you can pull something from Canva. You can pull in a specific, let's say, like a problem-solving model. You could put that in there. You can also embed different videos and things like that in there. If you want to, so I'm going to create the background. So this eye up here is the inspector, so that is how you're going to change font or add any backgrounds. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to give me solid colors. If I want it to be kind of like a comic theme, I can click on comics, and that gives me all of those kind of backdrops. You can do different paper, so you can have grid paper, graph paper, lined paper, college ruled paper, wide ruled. You can have just dots. You can even have sheet music. They have borders that you can use for your pages. They also have different textures if you want for your pages. I'm just going to pick a color for my background. So I have my background set, and I'm going to add my title. I'm going to do text. And it's going to bring up this text box. Here you can add bold, italic, or whatever, but it's going to, as you'll see in just a second, it's going to just give you the basics. So you can see it doesn't have a whole lot here, so you're gonna start here and type your text. For the Spanish side, it does have all of those accents. So as they're typing in Spanish, if they're creating a Spanish book, it's got the accents in there. And it will also read in Spanish. So I'm just gonna. So you can see it starts my font really small and just kind of throws it in there. So from there is when you're gonna go back to that inspector, and now it's gonna show you your font options. I can make it bigger. Maybe. So I can make it bigger, I can center it, I can change the type of font that I want. I can change the color of the font. I can add a shadow if I want. I can add a background color just to that box. And if I decide I like this font, I like this color, but I'm not really sold on the background again, then I can come over here and change the background color again. From there, once you have your cover, then you're just gonna go and play and create pages. Again, that plus is gonna give you all of your options of things that you can add. More is those apps and extra features. So I'm gonna give you about 10 minutes to just kind of play around and create some. I love that I already see some in there. So I'm gonna give about 10 minutes and then we'll come back and we'll share out some ideas or ask any questions or anything like that that we may have. In the book, because you guys have access to it, I put lesson plans to get started. If you scan this QR code from that book, it's going to give you lesson plans on how to get your kids started in there. I will tell you, it says like a 20-minute lesson and a 60-minute lesson. But again, especially for those upper grades, we know that they're really good with technology and iPads and all of that kind of stuff. So you're probably gonna be able to just do a brief introduction. And then there are also, when you go, these Welcome to Creator and Teach books are really helpful. That's where I started, even in creating this training and thinking about it. And then if you join with, if you allow them to send you emails, I get emails all the time. I've gotten one on, I think it was like 13 ways to use Book Creator in math. Oh, there was one more thing before I let you guys explore.
Can we get a bit.ly for that QR instead of the QR code?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can give you a bit.ly for it. If everyone will go back to their dashboard really quick before I let you play to create. On your teacher dashboard, if you go up here to Discover, it's going to take you to the Book Creator templates. It's going to give you all kinds of suggestions. So here, these are student templates. As you can see, Book Creator and Me, All About Me Journal. You can have it just by getting started. Foundational literacy. So these are ones that are already kind of created or a template started for you. You can search them by grade level and see. So all of these books are kindergarten. So these are books that you guys could just automatically add to your library. that the kids could use as templates to help. You can do it by lesson. So here's one that's supporting language learners, 15 science projects. You can look by subject. So science, these are all books that have been created based on science topics in elementary. So these are another really good resource for you to use, or even just to get ideas. Sometimes it helps to look at others to create your own ideas. So now I'm gonna give you 10 minutes just to kind of play around and play with the books.
Can you enlarge the, like, I want to make this really big.